All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And this is going to be a lesson on the love-hate relationship that a lot of you Israelites have with Babylon the Great, which is America, and how the citizens of America are just as proud as the elites of America, man. Like, they're exactly the same. When you hear the average American speak about America, right, they'll complain about America in one breath, but then when they hear somebody else that's outside of America, that's not a so-called American, talk bad about America, then they will defend America with their words. And if they needed to, they'd even be prepared to defend America with their actions. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are they that dwell therein. And the people that are living in America are no different in their moral code than the rulers of America, right? And if any of these people that are citizens of America that are not of the elect, I want to make that clear, that are not of the elect to the nation of Israel, right? They would do all the exact same things that the elites of America do to keep the power of ruling America, right? They'd go to war the same way. They'd extort the same way, right? They'd do exactly the same spells and dark acts on the left-hand side in order to keep the same power. They wouldn't want to give a reparations to the Israelites of any of the different tribes, right? They wouldn't want to even admit guilt and say that they did anything wrong. They do all the same things, man. Because whenever it comes to talking about America in a negative way, they're not prepared to do it. And the first thing they'll say is, well, where else can you get money from? Like how you can get in America? Because the main reason why they love America is because of the financial situation that you can get in America, right? If you're a good personal trainer anywhere in the world other than America, it'll be cool. You know what I mean? But if you're a good personal trainer in America, oh, you're living it off. If you're a good football player, even in other places, a lot of football players come and do a football thing in America and end up making way more money. I think Beckham ended up making way more. His year salary was a lot more than it was in the UK when he started becoming a professional football player in America, or soccer player, if y'all want to say that. But it's really football though, right? He started making more there when he was coming to the end of his career. Like, America just got that glow on it, but the glow is only about finance, right? It's about finance. They might have the most attractive women over there, but then when it comes to talking about the real things in what matter, the moral code, right? Then America does not have that. It does not have it. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. America's destroyed and the people don't even know it. A lot of these Americans, they want to talk about blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that, and other countries. A lot of them ain't even been to them countries, man. Now, have I been to America? No. But America gets shown to the world way more than enough to where we can see what's going on in that place, man. Other countries don't really have the privilege of being ignorant to America, right? And what goes on there. But America, Babylon the Great, has the privilege to be, right now it does anyway, to be ignorant to what's going on in other places of the world. But that same ignorance is what's going to cause them to get destroyed. And that same pride that they've built up because of their ignorance is going to cause for them to get destroyed, man. They're going to get destroyed because they was ignorant to what's really going on and didn't ever think that America could fall as a country. And on verse 3, an unwise judge destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And America is not going to be in. The prudence of America is so lacking that America is not going to be inhabited by a human ever again one day. There's literally not going to be such a thing as a human walking on the American soil, breathing air. America's Babylon the Great. So all you people that want to praise America and say this and say that about it, and have the nerve to say God bless it, mate, he ain't gonna bless that place. That's the place that he's cursed that place, man. He's going to sacrifice that place so that the rest of the world can be in peace. That place has to be forfeited in order for the kingdom of heaven to really, truly be established, man. The kingdom of heaven cannot even fall upon the earth, and that place still exists. That place has been a stain on the history of humanity, really, especially on the history of the Israelites, man. That place has to be destroyed, and it's going to be. And all you people that you're praising it and singing, you're going to be part of its foundations, man. You're going to be burnt up in there too. You're going to be a part of the destruction of that place. You want to keep running your mouth. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of Yahweh, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And it's not going to be no American president leading the world into the light. America's led the world into darkness. Its foundations were corrupt, man. If you build a place based on the grape robbery and murder of some of the most beautiful people, well, the most beautiful people on earth, the Israelites, man, and then try and make excuses for it the whole of your time of existing as a nation, and try and use them people as stepping stones to build up your society. But then at the same time, you use them people to really, as like the mascot. The Israelites said, especially Judah, man. Judah's been a mascot for America for a hell of a long time, man. Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Chris Brown, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, all these Jakes, man, have been things that people associate with America. Beyonce, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, all these Jakes. Even Tekashi 6ix9ine, all these people, man. They've all been people that have been associated with America. Even the Israelites that don't look like us, the Justin Biebers, the Justin Timberlakes, all of these people, man. They've been mascots for America that have made people think about America in a certain way, man. The adverts that they use these Israelites in to promote America. How did they forget Kanye West? He's been a heavy mascot for America. It's been Israelites that have been a mascot for America the whole time, man. And when there wasn't mascots for America, they were the slaves that were building up that place, man. They were the foundation of that place's success. But then people want to try and say that they're not. The reason why the Babylonians were so heavy in the spirit was because they had the Israelites in captivity. The reason why the Persians were so heavy at one time is because they had the Israelites in captivity. Everyone's always tried to build up their thing from putting the Israelites in captivity, but then they always came that other side, getting destroyed. And America's did the Israelites in captivity the worst. So they're going to get the harshest judgment, man. But the citizens want to praise it though. Verse 5. In the hand of the Most High is the prosperity, in the hand of Yahweh is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Jump down to verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, and America's covetous. They want Greenland. They want to turn Canada into a damn state of America. They want to change places that are called of Mexico into this of America. They want to just change everything. They want everything, man. It's still more than likely that they're the ones that done that pipeline in Germany, man. Just covetous. Oh, because China's doing this and doing that with AI and these things. Oh, now you got to do it. You got to compete because otherwise they'll win. Win what, man? Win what? None of y'all ain't going to win. The Israelites, well, excuse me, Yahweh's the one that's going to end up winning. Then his only begotten son's going to win, Yahweh Shai, and he's going to be given the throne that he's been waiting to receive, that Yahweh offered on him since the foundation of the world. And then the Israelites are going to win. Because we're joint heirs. And every single Israelite is going to get the kingdom of heaven, whether they like it or not. But there's not every single way that you receive the kingdom of heaven is not honorable. To die and get reincarnated again with shame in your eye is not a good way to receive the kingdom of heaven. That's horrible. That's the worst way to get it, man. That's even worse than the Israelites that are not ever going to even been born in any of the previous kingdoms in the earth. And they're just new Israelites that never even ever existed, ever. A completely new spirit that never existed from anywhere, right? Those Israelites that didn't know about Babylon and none of that stuff, they're going to exist in an everlasting time in the kingdom of heaven. They're going to be in a more favorable position than you Israelites that died now and come back in the reincarnation. So that's a hell of a lot to be given, man, and it's an unfortunate one. But somebody's got to have that, and I hope that I'm not one of them. For such a one set of his own soul to sail, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels, and that's what Americans did, man. They prepared to give up anything, man. And some of these man literally are giving up their bowels, man. And I ain't trying to go into more detail than that, but they were having alphabet and rainbow mans trying to enter in certain crevices to go in man's bowels, bro. Off. You understand? Disgusting me. And certain men that want to try and call themselves high priests, chief high priest, when really it's coming more like you're the chief high cheeks, brethren. Like, you're off, bro. And then trying to talk about you ain't breaking no laws, fam. What are you talking about? What are you on about? Like, of all the things you can do with a woman that would even still come across as being sins, right? Of all the things that you could do with a woman that is even actually sinning, that's what you want to do with them? Like, that's what you chose, yeah? And I'm not saying that nobody out there is supposed to be doing nothing with a woman in that regard that's sinning. But of all the things that this guy could think to do with a woman, right? That's what he want. That's where he went to. That's what he wanted to do, yeah? But then you want to say you're the chief high priest and want to try and call people to retire and say that they need to step down. Step down so that you can step up to get stepped on. Okay, what are you talking about? Just imagine if the apostles would have listened to that stupidness that he was saying and be like, okay, we'll retire. And all of the 4 apostles had on Hawaiian shirts and went on a cruise ship. You know what I mean? And now they retired and he's did all that. Yeah, right, man. Yeah, right. Because while he liveth, he cast away his own bowels. Right? America's got a lot coming its way, man. And it don't even know it though. The average American citizen is so proud. It's unbelievable. They really just don't possibly think that there's any way that it's not even possible that America could ever fall. They don't believe that could even happen. Like, their mind is so far away from believing that could happen. It's ridiculous. They really don't believe it's a possibility. Because it would be mutually assured destruction if people was to do those ICBMs. Yeah, it is mutually assured destruction for Esau. Because we as Israelites, we've got something in the heavens that you people don't know about. We've got Yahweh Shai up there, man. The great protector, the great savior, man. The only begotten son of the heavenly Father, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He that was dead and now liveth. But you people don't know nothing about that, man. We've got Yahweh Shai, whose head and his hair is a white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes as a flaming fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if it burned in a furnace, and his voice is the sound of many waters. And if you don't believe his voice is the sound of many waters, that's how he's going to enter and introduce himself to the world the second time. He's going to enter into the world with a shout. And you're going to hear that echo through the earth, man. He's going to echo across the earth. You understand? That shout is going to be like a ripple that wraps his whole voice around the earth, man. And it's going to be like a calling card, man. Batman had the signal, which Batman's a waste man, forget Batman. But Batman had the signal, yeah. Yahweh Shai's got the shout, and that's going to cause all these punk-ass nations with their best of their best armies to try and roll up, and they're going to get done over. Like, the worst thing you could want to be now is an Edomite or any heathen running around being proud. Not calling black men, so-called black men that skin's brown, calling them black. When our skin's always been brown, but they're calling us black. And then when they talk about this IQ stuff. But if you say to them, what color am I? Am I black? Am I brown? Of course not. Of course you're not. Oh, you mean literally? Well, how else do you describe colors other than literally, dumbass? Huh? How else do you describe colors? If you go into a shop and say, "Oh, I'd like to try on a pair of these blue shoes, please," and they bring you out the red ones, you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Don't you know colors?" Well, that's how we look at you now. What the fuck are you doing? Calling us black when our skin's brown. In fact, our skin's more brown than the nations that people try and call brown instead of us. By skin color, we're more brown than Indians. Our skin tone, every single one of ours is more what people would say is brown than what these Indian people's skin is. Because some of the Indian people's skin is more fair skinned than some of them. But among people that are called so-called black people, all of our skin is different shades of brown. But then here's the thing, here's the kicker, right? Most of the people on the earth skin's brown, but they only want to try and call certain people brown because they want to try and keep us ever chasing a nationality. And they don't want us to be buried in graves, yeah? They don't want us to have no set place that we fit into. Okay, this is when you get buried, right? Don't they just say everything about that person and just let them rest? They don't want us to rest. You know what I mean? When someone's buried, yeah, what do people say? R.I.P. Rest in peace. These nations don't want us to be buried in graves because they don't want us to rest in peace. And the thing is, the scriptures say this is not our rest, right? This is not our rest, and we ain't gonna rest in peace in this place. But we are for damn sure, Salakia, we are gonna rest in peace in the kingdom, though. You people better hope that what we're saying is just a pipe. That we better really hope that we just all made it up, That all these men that I've personally never met, yeah, all these men I've personally never met that I just followed on and started saying the same things because I just thought, this is fun to say, and everyone else did that as well. Oh, this is fun to say that. Yeah, we're gonna trick these people into thinking that we're Israelites. Isn't this fun? It's a prank, bro. It's a prank, dude. Yeah, okay. You keep thinking that, man. But eventually, this doctrine is going to get on you nation's nerves so much that you try and test out the theory, man. You're going to have a hypothesis and you're going to try and put it into action, and you're going to find out that your hypothesis was wrong. And that we, in fact, are the Israelites, man, and that Yahweh Shai is in the heavens, right? With Yahweh holding him steady for a time to where he's like, you know what? Now go do your thing, man. Now's the time. I made you hold it down for a while, right? But this is the third day. This part of the third day now. It's time. Enjoy. Have fun. I'm going to be watching from here. Now, I ain't saying that's exactly what Yahweh's going to say, but I'm using my earthly understanding of how a conversation like that could come to pass, man. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And there's some birds in this world that look crazy as hell, man. I put a post up on this channel not long ago, moving like maybe the last 2 weeks, of like loads of different scavenger birds that have got rainbow colored faces, red eyes, and all these different things, sharp looking beaks, right? Those are birds that you wouldn't want to see those flying over your house, man. Birds with 3 meter wide wingspans. 3 meters is a hell of a long distance, man. 3 meters is taller than any man that walks this earth right now, or most of them. Maybe some 8-foot guy might come close to being 3 meters tall. But most men that you're going to see on a day are not 3 meters tall. Most of them are not 2 meters tall, right? To even see a man that's 2 meters tall in this world is rare. Never mind 3 meters. But there's birds that have got them kind of crazy wingspans, man. Scavenger birds. And these are the things that are going to be living in America after it's destroyed, man. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of a fornication. And that's why if the people in Babylon, if the people outside of Babylon are drunk with the wine that America's been spewing out, how much more the people that live there, man? Right? If a person is making a hell of a lot of alcoholics that owns a pub or a club or something like that, but he's got people that live inside that place as well. And the people that go there just for a short time, he's able to make all of them drunk. How much more do you think that the people that live there are going to be alcoholics and drunk, man? Drunkards. And that's what's happened to America. The potency of America, the spirit of America is very strong, right? It's very strong and it's contagious. So even if you don't live in America, you can get contaminated by its potency. So how much more if you live in a closer proximity to America, as in inside of the country? You're going to be corrupted by that place. And that's why the average person is corrupted by America. It's corrupted, man. And that's why these Americans will defend that place with their words. Or where else is so good to live as America, blah, blah, blah. Or where else, or you can't do this and you haven't got freedom of this. And mate, you ain't really got freedom of speech in America. That's why these same people that talk about freedom of speech and would have a YouTube channel, yeah, some of these red pill mans in there, they can't just say words like they want to say no more. If they wanted to say RAPE, they got to put a G before that. When we know for damn sure we ain't talking about no grapes. When we say grape, we ain't talking about grapes. There ain't no vines involved in this. You have to talk in code word. You can't just say J-E, wish anymore. You have to say small hat. You have to say them, you know what I mean? Them, they, you have to, you know what I mean? You have to talk in a different way. So all these people trying to make it like America's just so free for speech. No, it's not, man. And there's a reason for that. It's so that the true doctrine cannot be brought out in its ultimate form and where you don't have to hold back nothing. But what these people don't understand is that the true doctrine is a spiritual thing anyway. You feel it in your spirit, man. And as long as you ain't lying, people are going to understand the true doctrine of the scriptures, man. The people that are supposed to understand it are going to understand it. So trying to stop people from saying a few words ain't going to change nothing, man, because the doctrine is still going to be true. Verse 4. In fact, verse 3. For all nations are drunk of the wine of wrath of a fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with us. So they've copied America's way. But now they're starting to realize, man, we shouldn't have did that. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. So a great voice of the prayers of the elect of the nation of Israel has reached onto America, onto the Yahweh, man. All the complaints of people sighing and crying for all the abominations that we're doing in the midst of have reached onto Yahweh. Even though Esau tried through physical things and through spiritual things to try and stop that from happening, the voice still reached over to there, man. It still reached. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she have rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much hath she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her, right? For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. And that's why these Americans are so proud, because they just accept everything that America does that's wicked and think, well, we've got a strong military, so we can do what we want to do. None of y'all people can't mess with us military-wise. That's what they think. Even the average citizens, man. But then if you was to ask the average citizen that ain't on that war thing whether they would want to go and fight in one, then all of a sudden it's cricket mode. But they just assume that America's got the best one. But they're wrong about that, though. Russia's got the best one, really. And China ain't no slouch neither. And America's going to find out that fact in the worst way. And then the winners ain't going to get to celebrate. They ain't going to get to celebrate what they did to America. Like how we defeated America, that them wicked Americans. Now they've got a fight on their hands. They're going to have a fight on their hands with Yahushua, right? And with the elected nation of Israel are going to be changed. So the Russians and the Chinese, they ain't going to get a chance to celebrate what they think they've achieved, and oh, okay, now we're gonna start a world anew, afresh. No, you're not gonna. Now you've got something even worse on your hands than them. We're gonna be on you if we're of the elect. But Yahweh Shai for sure is gonna be on you, man. And whoever the elect to the nation of Israel are, they're gonna be the ones that's gonna be going up against the so-called winners of World War III, man. The so-called winners, right? So-called. Because there's already going to be a whole bunch of destruction that's gone off, and there's going to be losses on both, on every single side before America gets destroyed. So it might start looking in that war when it really kicks off that America is going to win if they just try and keep things on this level. It might look like that. Or if we keep things on this level, America keeps winning. They keep winning when we play on this level. So you know what? What way would they not win? What way will it be that they won't win? Okay, we're going to have to take it there. Let's do it then. We're going to think that evil thoughts going to be put in their mind, man. Them demons are going to be whispering in whoever's in charge of that country, Magog, according to the scriptures, right? Russia. In that time, them demons are going to be sent from Yahweh by Shem Yahushai to get inside whoever is in charge at that time's mind, man. And it's looking like it's whoever is in charge. Now that's going to be the same person. And they're going to be telling him, you're gonna lose it all if you don't do this, right? Do it, man. And they're gonna be plaguing that person's mind, just really getting them to go through with that thing that no one ever thought that they would do. They're gonna do it exactly that. Exactly what the world thought they would never do. They're gonna do exactly that, man. They're gonna go all the way with it, all the way. Right? All the way. Like when it comes to boxing, there's kind of unspoken rules, isn't it? Oh, don't hit below the belt. Don't headbutt. Right? Don't punch me in the neck. Don't elbow me in the spine. Because these are rules that's like, you know what I mean? Don't bite. But sometimes people do that. Don't hit me when my back's turned. Right? In the UFC, recently one of the fights, I saw the guy doing a 12-6 elbow. And I had to recheck and be like, right, is 12-6 elbow allowed in the UFC? I thought that it was banned because when I seen John Jones get disqualified one time, but they've brought that back. So some fighters are still not even used to the 12-6 elbow even being a thing in a fight. When John Jones fights certain men, right, he kicks man's Achilles tendon out, man. He literally kicks them in the knee right over the patella, right, to hyperextend their leg. And that can cause a man to never walk the same again. And John Jones has made a lot of men not walk the same again from blasting out their kneecaps, man. Right? But that's allowed, though. Right? That's a move that's not illegal. He even eye pokes people, John Jones does, and laughs about it. He hits them with spinning back elbows in the back of the head. And he kind of knows that that's not really allowed. But he's like, well, I can get away with it, though. Russia, in that day, are going to consider, why shouldn't I use these weapons? They're like, why shouldn't I? And they're not going to be able to think of a reason why they shouldn't. They're going to be like, you know what? I'm doing it. And they're going to do it, man. That thing that people thought they would never do. Let me get the scripture why I'm saying this, man. That thing that people thought they would just never do. Oh, they'd never take it there because they're civilized. Nah, they're not going to be civilized. They're going to do exactly that, man. They're going to do exactly that. Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 10. Right? Thus saith Yahweh power, it shall come to pass at that it shall come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think on evil thoughts, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, I will go to them that are at rest, America. Because it's gonna seem like America's winning if you play it their way, based on the rules that they've said you can do through war, based on the things that they've wrote into power and the laws that they've said on how you play war, based on their rules for war games, right? It's going to seem like, man, they've finally actually, all that stuff that they did is actually really destroyed our thing. I will go to them at rest that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. They're going to run up on them, man. They're going to run up. Because them things that's happening with China, right? They're going to start to feel it, man, because China don't like to give their average citizen a lot of money neither. They don't like to give the average citizen a lot of money. Even though China makes a lot of money, they don't like to give the average person a lot. And that's the reason why they can have all the manufacturing going on there, because they don't want to pay the average citizen a lot of money. They don't treat their people good neither. So all this tariff stuff that will be going on, right? That will be coming out of their own citizens. They ain't gonna allow it to just benefit their people. They don't do that. They've damn near made the whole Karagma society be going off in their country anyway. And according to prophecy, they're gonna get it too, man. They're gonna be smitten with poverty. Let me get it. Second Ezra chapter 15. I want to go straight to the point. I go verse 46 first. And thou, Asia, that art partake of the hope of Babylon, and not the glory of her person, right? Because they've copied it. Verse 48. That was followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith Yahweh, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood. So a lot of women are going to lose men, right? Through the men being unalived. Poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. So eventually, things are going to happen in the world where Moab, in particular, is going to really start going through a lot of these things, man. They're going to start going through all of this stuff. Widowhood, poverty, famine, the sword, pestilence. A lot of things are going to happen over there, man. And it's going to seem like some of it's random, but no, it's being done deliberately by a nation on earth that Yahweh set up to be able to do these things. But they're going to try and hide the proof that it was them. But people don't think this because they are arrogant, man. All these nations are arrogant. And they really never thought that the so-called black man was ever going to become anything apart from an N-word. But we never was an N-word, though. We never was that. And you nations really at the highest level, you know we're not that. But you ain't prepared to admit it, though. You knew we were the children of Israel when you were doing all these things to us, right? You passed the information down to your children of the elite level. And you've always kept trying to keep us in this same spot. But it's not going to last forever, though. We're going to climb out of this hole that you people tried to put us in, man. We are going to. Verse 8. No, verse 7. How much have she glorified, Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. How much have she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. But is that true, though? Is it true that America's not going to see no sorrow? No, it's not. They think they can just go around extinguishing everyone else's country's finances and threatening everyone because of a military when everyone else has got a military as well, though. That's the thing. And this push for them to want to spend money on their military and that, you're going to regret that decision because they're going to spend that money on that military and they're going to increase their military might to come up against you because they're not going to want to be a victim. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now, why? The reason as to why they're going to be mourning is very important, man. Verse 10, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth them merchandise anymore, not because the people of America were so honest and moral and so honorable. Oh, them Americans, they never did nothing no wrong. They didn't do nothing. Them Americans, they didn't do nothing wrong to nobody. They were so nice and humble and so gloriously nice, charismatic individuals. That's not the reason why the mourning's going to be happening, man. It's going to be because where the money at, where the bread at, man. Where the papes, where the papes, man. Where the queen, well, not the Queen Vicky's. That's what they'd sell over here. But there ain't going to be no queen. Where's the lettuce? Where's the ice? Where's the fettuccine and that? You know what I mean? Where's the cheddar? That's what they're going to be wondering. Where's the money at? Now that that place is destroyed, that had all that buying potential, where are we going to get that money back from? But they ain't even going to have time to think about that stuff for too long because America's destruction brings the ultimate catalyst for Yahweh Shai coming back to the earth, man. America getting them nukes being shot off at America is what brings Yahweh Shai to the earth. That's our belief, man. Nukes being shot off at America would be one of the biggest earthly events that's ever took place on the earth, because the destruction that's going to happen when them things land is outrageous. What it's going to look like, man. What's going to happen to America is going to be outrageous. People is all bugging out over that Twin Towers thing. What's going to have really happened to America is going to be way worse than that. Way worse, man. And when I even sometimes look back on them videos, I'm like, man, that really was a mad time, and women was so humbled. They were so humbled in that time, man. And they're getting ready to be humbled again. Because before America gets that judgment, it's going to go through a whole bunch of other stuff before that, man. It's got a whole bunch of other stuff coming its way before it even goes through that phase. Let me carry on. Verse 10. Standing in front of verse 11. The merchant of the earth shall weep and wail and shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth the merchandise anymore, not because of how glorious the place was in honor. Right now, let me jump down. Verse 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. Right? That's what they're going to mourn about. And when you read from verse 12 to verse 15, it goes into all of the things. In fact, let me read verse 15 as well. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her. So that's the reason people are going to mourn about America, because they was made rich by it, man. They had all these things in their country and in their land. But the average citizens in their country wasn't really able to buy all of these things, because America made sure that they destroyed their own people to make America rich. Right? So then they sold all their main precious things to America and became rich on the elite level. They became rich from that. But America's going to be destroyed one day. So then all the riches that they was making, all the hand over fist sales that they was doing, that's going to be taken away. And they're going to be wondering, well, who can I sell it to now? And the thing is, there is going to be somebody that they're going to be giving all that stuff to now. Us, the Israelites. Don't worry, we're going to be taking that from you. And we ain't going to be buying it neither. You're going to give it to us willingly, man. Since you liked giving it to America, Babylon the Great so much, you can give it to us, man. We'll take care of that for you. Don't worry about that. Let's read some of it. We like cinnamon. We like odors, nice fragrance in it. We like some frankincense, oil, wine. We like wine, fine flour, wheat. You know what I mean? Beasts. We won't mind a few nice pets in the kingdom. Sheep and horses, chariots. We're gonna have chariots, horse ones, and chariots, the ones that's a wheel within a wheel, man, in the kingdom. Slaves, we'll have some of that too. Souls of men, no thanks. We don't need all that souls of men, man. We don't want that part though. But we're gonna have the slaves for damn sure, man. We'll have some of that. And don't try and say I'm unrighteous for thinking that because you did it. Or you other people, everyone likes to always say that, right? Oh, all people have been enslaved at one time or another. Okay, so don't complain when it happens in the future then. If you understand that everyone's been a slave at one time or another, well then understand when it happens in the future. Don't complain, don't whinge, don't cry about it when we do it, man. Right? Relax yourself. And don't seem more shocked and flabbergasted when we do it. Yeah? Since everyone's done it one time or another in life, well, we're going to do it too then. And just deal with it. Yeah, don't whinge or complain when we do it, man. Because if you understand that everyone's did it in one time or another, so that means it will happen in the future too then. And that could be still matching what's happened in times of old and in times past. Yeah. Don't complain when we do it, man. Since it's so okay and it's civilizing, right? Since it's so civilizing, isn't it? Well, don't get ready to be civilized then by the children of Israel, man. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2 to verse 4, which is the real civilizing, man. The Israelites are really going to civilize people with the laws of Yahweh that are civilized. That's the true way to live on earth. And we're going to find out for all you fake Christians out there, man, that want to say that the law is done away with. No, the law is civilizing. It makes wise the simple. Simple people are not civilized. Wise people are. Verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors And as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dung on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships. So if you had something for sale, sell it to America. You're going to get some money from that, man. Sell it to them stupid Babylonians. They'll take it. They're always after some new thing to buy. Were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of their customs, by reason of how much they love to buy things. And how the price has always got to be higher and higher to try and make yourself seem like you're just the stuff. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. In 1 hour, it's going to be done over. Verse 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh revenged you on her. It's for revenge, man. They destroyed us, so Yahweh is going to avenge the destruction that they did to us, man, by destroying the whole place. And then after that, there's still more punishment that you all are going to have to go through, man. The Israelites are going to rule over their oppressors. And it don't matter whether you don't believe it, or I don't believe that's going to happen. Okay, don't believe it then. But let me ask you people this. Did you believe that the lockdown was going to happen? Did you believe that you was going to be told to stay in your house and you can go out for a walk once a day? Did you believe that? Did you believe you was going to see old women, old hags fighting over tissue? No, only one tissue. No, I need all these 24 pack of tissue. Did you think you was going to see that in life? Did you think you was going to see people using their hand over their nose and mouth as a face mask when it's clearly your hand? I saw people do that. Did you think you was going to see people climb on top of vegetables and lick them and cough on them? Did you ever think you're going to see that happen in life? Did you think you were going to see a world where everyone's walking around with a mask on their face? Did you think you was going to see that in life? Did you? No, you didn't. So you don't know everything that can be seen on earth. You don't know everything that can be seen. And there's going to come a day where you people see a so-called black man that's going to have white woolly hair and a white beard, and his eyes are going to be red, man. And he's going to enter into the world with a shout. Did you think you was going to ever see that? And he's going to be so strong that no one on earth can harm him. And he's not going to be coming out here alone. He's going to come here with angels. Now, that sounds ridiculous, right? But not many years ago, people wouldn't have believed if you would have said to them that there's going to be a global scamdemic. They'd have been like, nah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That would never happen. That would never happen in a million years, mate. Nah, you're ridiculous. People don't believe that people don't even believe that there's going to be a global, worldwide mandatory charagma. They don't believe that. But it's going to happen though, you stupid, proud dummies. It's going to happen. And most of y'all are going to take it, man, because you like it here anyway. Whereas some people, I'm hoping, man, that how it puts me in the situation where I have to take that I'm like moving like one of them Maccabees, man. Like, come then. I mean, make sure the blade's sharp too. But either way it goes, if I end up rejecting taking it, it don't matter to me which method I end up rejecting it in, man. Even if it means I have to wee my pants, mate. If I wet my pants, right, and still rejected it, well, that's fine. Because that's more honourable than trying to talk tough now. But in the moment they offer you one, you're like, okay, I'll take it. Just please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. It's more honourable to throw up. Be thinking, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. But then you do it though. That's more honourable, man. Than to be talking like how Jake talk now. All tough and hard as nails. So street and fog. Man's out here called Slim Fog. But then you was telling everyone to take the Karagma. I mean, take the, you know what I mean? The C19er. So what's up, bro? But anyway, man. Verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and your holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh avenged you on her. We ain't going to be crying if we're of the elect about America's destruction. We're going to be crying. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. We might cry. I might cry if Yahweh allows me to live long enough to see America, which is Babylon the Great, get cried. But it's going to be tears of joy, though. And when I was a young kid, right, post-puberty, right, and I saw on the TV them towers fall, I jumped up out of my seat that I was sitting down on and shouted towards the TV when it was on the news. That's what you get for putting my people in slavery. That's what I said as a young kid, man. I wasn't mourning over that, and that seemed like it came out of nowhere. Me saying that, man. I was happy that that happened to that place. I was happy, right? And we're gonna be real, truly happy when America gets destroyed, man. Because it's wicked as hell and it's done nothing but harm our people physically, mentally, and spiritually, man. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash, right? And Shalom to the elected nation of Israel, Shalom.